Welcome to Powering Success, future-proofing your generator company, the go-to podcast for industry leaders in the generator installation and service business. Here we dive into the strategies and innovations that keep your company ahead of the competition and bring you insights from top experts and successful entrepreneurs. Let's get started and power up your potential. Now here's your host, marketing guru John Tedesco.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. So today we have Jordan Rohrer from the Power Connection, Harrisburg, Virginia. His company does commercial, industrial, and residential electrical work, generators, backup power solutions across Virginia. Power Connection has been in business since 1996, and our goal here is to talk to generator dealers across the country, try to understand their businesses on a deeper level, and discover the best strategies for long-term success. I'm here with Danielle Tedesco. She's my co-host for Powering Success, and she's going to help me walk through some of the questions and some of the stories you got behind everything that you do, Jordan.
So welcome, Jordan. It's great to have you on our podcast. Looking forward to, just getting into some of these questions with you.
First off, I want to thank y'all and express appreciation for this opportunity to, chat with you guys on your podcast here. It's been a real blessing to learn to know you guys and interact with you guys on a business level and a personal level. So
I just want to get into, you serve a pretty diverse clientele, right? Data centers, municipalities. Could you give us a little bit more background on your company?
Sure. So our company was originally started by its previous owner in '96 in the power generation space only. And we have served that space since our inception. 9 years ago, I purchased the company from its previous owner, and we have grown it significantly from since then. And we also added the electrical contracting, commercial electrical contracting, about 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Our ideal customer and target market we live in a rural area. Not too far away from a lot of cities, but we live in a rural area. There is a lot of food and beverage type entities and businesses, and we have a lot of agribusiness clients, along with all the other general commercial, hospitals, stores, etc., communications, and et cetera. We serve all those client bases. However, our ideal customer is one that cares deeply about the high quality product and the solution that we can offer.
So what is like a unique selling point for you when it comes to your business?
As it relates to our unique selling points, one of the things that we really try to emphasize is our quality of service, but also our desire to offer the correct solution for the client. So oftentimes many clients, they have differing reasons why they have, electrical and or power generation needs. And, we have solutions. The out of the box, the standard solutions could be the right answer for you. But we never shy away from those unique and challenging opportunities that are out there. So we always want to make sure that I know it's cliche, but we want to make sure that everybody's winning when somebody interacts with the Power Connection.
And that could be whether that's a commercial, industrial potential client or a project bid, or even residential, right?
That is right. Yep. We have put a lot of emphasis on knowledge of our team, training our team, empowering our team, everything from, having good AutoCAD capabilities in the technology space to the knowledge to be able to back it up and to use it correctly. Finding unique solutions for various and sundry customers, in the power generation and or the electrical space.
So they really need to, I think, get to know the customer, right? Understand the customer, what their needs are. So probably very customer focused.
We are very customer focused. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And to get those customers, what kind of unique selling or marketing marketing do you do?
Sure. So first off, I mean, we have a top-notch team at PowerSource that does a good job of handling our website and our SEO uh, for our website. And that's a very important piece of what we do. And the reason for it's twofold, obviously awareness, but the secondary thing is actually access to the company. So ensuring that your website is one that when a customer or potential customer touches it, they know they get a clear picture of who you are, what you do, what you offer, and how to get a hold of you. Um, we also do two other types of marketing that support this. And one of them is that we're very much community based and that we strongly support our community through encouraging our team to give of their time. Uh, and the company follows that up with resources that we donate um, to these efforts. And the third effort that we have is we're a significant sponsor with JMU Sports Properties for the local university here at JMU. So all three of those efforts together um, work towards creating a successful solution for our marketing. Our marketing has brought us more work this last year than any of my previous 9 years here at Power Connection. So I'm really happy with my team.
In the past, we've talked a little bit about agricultural. So there's some issues that you've had in the past with agricultural installations versus the agricultural service. So what's happening in your space where you've got a lot of servicing companies that aren't exactly certified, that are going around and certifying or maintaining these generators that are on site?
Sure. So the agriculture space, it's a very good space to get into in the entry level space because the regulation is very low. In the state of Virginia, there's a law called the Right to Farm law, and so there's not a lot of regulation in that space, even from the building permit to
Mhm.
service aspects, etc. Um, and I appreciate that because it helps to keep regulation increase costs, right? And there is a desire, and which I can appreciate in the country to keep cost of food low.
Mm-hmm.
What this does create, though, is an opportunity for companies that are seeking to jump in and make a quick buck. They can do that without, having the regulatory agencies looking over the shoulder to ensure that such things such as certifications, insurances, um, et cetera, safety
Mhm.
protocol, et cetera, are taken into place. The Power Connection is strong on all of those. Um, we are ISN and Nevada certified, which is those are third-party safety organizations. We adhere to all those regulatory. We also train our technicians,
Mm-hmm.
um, and we have them certified through some OEMs and also through EGSA, which is the Electrical Generating Service Association.
Mhm.
We're proud members of that, and we like to encourage as many uh, entities as possible to get their technicians certified, trained,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can do a top quality product for our customer base. The last thing we want to do is get a black eye as an industry for doing shoddy work. And
Yeah,
so
sure.
Right.
I'm always encouraging every every and any customer or vendor to look into these things to make sure that they're getting top quality service in our industry.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yep. What services tend to be most profitable for you?
The services that are most profitable for us are the solutions based
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, solutions. So the generator space, when we are able to do a design build and installation, are obviously very profitable. And we emphasize that a lot versus just the commodity sell the unit for lower margins. We also feel that we can, at that point, instead of pushing for the lowest dollar, we can offer the customer the right product, where we aren't so terribly concerned about getting to the very bottom, the price point. Service work, service is a profitable space, but that space is one where we strive to make sure that we offer the right combination of replacement of parts and offering a solution versus replacement of the of the unit. So looking at the life ex or yeah, the lifespan of the unit, you know, has this thing aged out as far as its serviceability, product available or parts availability, etc. We like to make sure that our customers are aware of where they are in the life cycle of their equipment.
Yeah, right, right. That actually brings me to this next question. How do you see the commercial and industrial backup power industry evolving in the next decade? So it's not going to always stay the same, right? So you have to kind of be ahead of it.
Sure. So where I see this space going is with the grid becoming weaker, uh, and or well, yeah, with the grid becoming weaker,
Hmm.
we are seeing more and more customers needing to take control of their own uh, power sources. So there are a number of different methods to doing this. Obviously, a generator can be a part of that solution. Um, but without going into too much depth there, the power generation space is becoming more customer centric instead of being just hook up to the grid and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Customers are needing to take control of it back. In some applications, they're going back to generating their own power and owning the whole entire application. In some cases, they're putting in very, very strong backups or alternate systems to, essentially back up the grid. Batteries is also something that's coming on strong.
Hmm.
Obviously, batteries don't produce power. I often refer to batteries as shock absorbers. They hold, you charge it up, they hold, retain, and then dispel power. Um, but they can't create power. So um,
A
they
good
are
compliment for the generators, right?
they are an excellent complement to the generator,
Hmm.
and a good solution. They're part of the solution for the power issues that we have in our country today.
Yeah, I have a client up in Massachusetts that pushing batteries significantly. They have Mass Save, which is a federal um, what you call it, the incentive, the federal incentive to get the battery system. They're covering up to $16,000 in an install. That's
Sure.
for residential.
Yep. Um, yeah, we're not heavily involved in the residential space,
Right.
specifically in the generator or the battery space, but yeah, I'm aware of a lot of the solutions that are out there. And there's a lot of battery backup situations that are going in,
Hmm.
applications that are going in that we're involved with. So, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so back in September, you guys were hit hard by Hurricane Helene.
Hmm.
So how did that impact, your business, and the demands for generators at that time?
Sure. So the impact of that was actually a couple hours south of us.
Okay.
Um, so it didn't hit our core area, but it did hit the edges of our area. Um, you know, in a natural disaster such as Helene, um, there's the initial shock when everything hits.
Mm-hmm.
And in that situation, obviously there was a lot of power lines, a lot of rivers, roads. Um, so accessibility became a challenge. And
Mm-hmm.
also in an event that's that big and catastrophic, um, it takes a lot of resources to be able to support and help that community come back. Obviously, there was a lot of resources that were dedicated to it, and brought in. And candidly, one of the bigger challenges with that situation down there was just so much devastation.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's nice to, you know, the grocery store doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
So there's not
Mm-hmm.
a lot you can do for that. The,
Yep.
the facility doesn't exist. It's washed away.
Right.
It's
Yep.
permanently damaged. But then there was also a number of different situations where backup systems, generator
Mm-hmm.
systems were brought in to support various entities, and that's
Mm-hmm.
obviously very helpful.
Hmm.
Yep.
Um, so yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
So how do we see this? How do you see your company evolving in the next, 5 to 10 years?
sure. So yeah, we are looking at a significant opportunity for growth here in the next couple of years.
Hmm.
Specifically, in the commercial electrical contracting space, there's no shortage of opportunity um, for helping our clients to be able to connect to the grid. Um, there's a lot of development in the data center space, and um, there's a lot of investment being made into the airport system and to our and so there's also a lot of interest in food and beverage in our area. I mentioned earlier that they're a key client. Um, those are key clients of ours. Our country still eats. Uh,
Yeah.
and there are, bottling companies, there are extrusion companies,
Mm-hmm.
the food processing facilities are still going strong. Um, and, we continue to see a lot of opportunity in our area,
Sure. And they
for,
all need generators.
and they all need generators.
Yeah.
And like I said, with all the desire to be able to take back control, just putting in a simple backup system, um, is one of the things that people are reaching out to first,
Hmm.
especially if they're willing to back up the grid versus owning their own source of power. So,
Okay. What's entailed with that, with owning your own source of power?
well, that can come in a couple of different ways depending on the customer. Um, the client base that we typically serve, they will look towards a natural gas powered generator, solar, and batteries as a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Obviously, getting into the much larger data center spaces,
Yeah.
there's a big initiative from the state of Virginia towards looking at nuclear power. Um, and so
Hmm.
there's a lot of there's a lot of interesting different solutions that are being bantered back and forth uh, out there in our community, in our state. The state of Virginia is one of the leading data center um, states. We
Hmm.
got a lot of data centers, and the major players in that space are needing more power than what our current utility providers can produce. So they are looking hard at alternative sources of power.
Yeah, sure.
Um, so it's a unique, interesting challenge.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Used to be in microgrids a little bit, right?
Yep. Microgrids is another very interesting space.
Hmm.
Essentially is what I was discussing there a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Um, that a microgrid is a solution to controlling your own power. Yep, with solar, natural gas generators, and yeah, battery backup systems, or
Hmm.
not backup, but battery systems to
Hmm.
help
Right. Right.
buffer.
Yep. So
Yep.
Jordan, what made you get into this line of work? Why this
That's
industry? How did you get started?
sure. No, it's I was in another industry before I got into this that one of the one of the things that I learned about that is pay attention to what is the global consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to what's happening globally,
Hmm.
because it does have a bearing on what's going on locally. Um, and when I was looking to switch industries 9, 10 years ago, um, I kind of identified power generation industry, electrical contracting. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
Um, there's going to be a need for it long term. Um, it's going to transition. It's going to morph. It's going to be different. But with our connectivity that we like to have through our cell phones, through our monitoring of everything that there is to monitor, we have
Mm-hmm.
a very low tolerance for power and not being connected.
Yeah.
Um, and we had an ice storm here a couple days ago,
Yeah.
and a tree fell over and took out my Wi-Fi at my house.
Mm.
Um, my family's not happy, and
Yeah.
we still got power. We're still good shape as far as power,
Everybody loses
Oh,
their
but
mind when
we
they don't
have
have
we
Wi-Fi.
have no Wi-Fi at the house. And
Yeah.
so anyhow, it's kind of interesting how it brings out the
Mm-hmm.
let's just say it brings out some different sides of us that you sit there and you go, really? But
Yeah.
take out the power and take out the internet, and all of a sudden you
Yeah.
you start
We
seeing a side of people that
we
maybe
were
we
it's
didn't know
funny that you
existed.
say that because it was like a month ago we were just talking about how like I forget how long ago we had lost power. We didn't have a generator at the time and we lost power for 10 days.
Hmm.
And you could see over time as days are going on, people were losing their mind. I mean, they were
Sure,
online for gas, fighting at the gas stations, waiting online for hours and I mean, just going crazy. And so it's unbelievable how people change
sure.
when they don't have power, they don't have Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
they're very much willing to invest heavily after
Yeah.
yeah.
those types of things happen.
Oh yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
pay anything. Absolutely.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's amazing too that you do all this work in power generation and you can't fix the kid's Wi-Fi. What good is that? I don't understand what he does if he can't fix the Wi-Fi when the power.
yep.
So Jordan, what advice can you give to maybe other, somebody else who's getting started in this industry, to how helping them to, give them some advice to keep them relevant, helping them to be successful.
Yeah, well, the one thing I would say is stay in tune with your community and what their needs are. I'll be candid with you. I have a time, I'm a visionary type person, and so I want to put this out there to somebody else who may be, in this industry. Don't outgrow your customer base. So I'm always like to be visionary. I like to look out
Mm-hmm.
in front, see what's the next thing coming. And there's a place for that. Um, but it can be hard on you financially if you try to outgrow,
Mm-hmm.
and to offer something that your customer base and your
Mm-hmm.
community doesn't need, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, there has been an opportunity where I've had to kind of circle back and take a hard look at our offerings that we have and make sure to not leave the bread and butter,
Mm-hmm.
but to continue to provide the right solution for what your customers need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those things, those futuristic opportunities, they'll be there. They'll come.
Yep.
Um, just maybe not now. So
Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
be my advice.
It's definitely a
No, that's great.
balance for sure.
Yeah.
I was actually curious about the brands that you like to use versus the brands that maybe you don't use. There's definitely it's multiple schools of thought. I hear from people that they would rather use a Kohler than a Generac. I've heard the reverse for lots of different reasons. And then others, Briggs and Stratton high power is more of a commercial brand, but
Sure.
what's your take on your brands?
Well, we offer a number of different brands. In my history here at the Power Connection, I think I can say this, that we have actually installed a new unit of every brand that I am aware of.
Hmm.
Maybe might be one that I'm thinking of. I'm not sure if I've installed. Most of the national brands have an excellent product. Okay. I am not the kind of guy that's going to sit here and tell you that a Kohler is better than a Generac, is better than a
Hmm.
Caterpillar, is better than a Cummins, is better than a High Power or a Blue Star. You know, there is a significant difference. Some of those brands that I just mentioned are, they create their own product.
Hmm.
They manufacture their own product from, from front to back. Other of these brands that I mentioned are what I call generator packagers. So they buy a reputable engine, they buy a reputable gen end, and
Hmm.
attach a Kohler, a controller, and you know, uh, put a tank and a package together. All of these solutions have their place, and it's critical that, a generator supplier is one that understands that it's not all about one brand. It's about the right product for the right customer.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Right.
some of these manufacturers do a much better job at quality control
Hmm.
of their product, and that's something that we try to watch out for and
Hmm.
to be careful to be able to buffer that from the customer because that's a reflection on us. If we sell a product and it's not manufactured well,
Hmm.
um, the customer ultimately is going to be looking at us. The other thing that's pretty important is the support. And as a service provider, we can buffer our customers some from our um, yeah, we can buffer our
Hmm.
customers some from the manufacturers, but I'll just be transparent and I won't share which company.
Hmm.
Um, you know, they there was a generator sold and installed, and it was within 6 months, there was a significant failure of the
Hmm.
generator. Um, it was beyond our financial capability to just fix it
Yeah.
Hmm.
because there needed to be, yeah. And so we had to work with the manufacturer. Well, the manufacturer was not responsive.
Mm.
And the situation and we got pushed around from the engine manufacturer to the generator manufacturer and back and
Hmm.
forth. And it took us months of bouncing back and forth between the two, trying to generate a solution for the customer. And the
Right.
customer got extremely fed up.
Hmm. I'm
Um,
sure.
that has a bearing on what I represent and who um, what generator
Yeah. Yeah.
manufacturers I
Sure.
So
send
knowing
to our
that when a
customer going
customer wants
forwards.
to go, yeah, knowing that when your customer wants to go with that brand of generator, do you then
Absolutely.
have to just be honest with them and say you can go with that, but to let you know,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
there's no question. Now,
yeah.
just keep in mind that, if it's a generator packager, I call it, they might have this brand of engine this time, and in a different node, they got a different brand of engine
Hmm.
that has stronger support,
Hmm.
and we can work with them. So that doesn't mean that you throw the whole relationship out with that
Right.
generator manufacturer. It just means that you need to be careful, you
Right.
know,
Be a little cautious.
be a little cautious and try to vet that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Hmm.
So support from the manufacturer is a big deal,
Okay.
a
Yep.
really, really big deal. And we
Hmm.
try to make sure that we show that.
Hmm.
In my opinion, in that situation, the engine manufacturer was was where the failure was. They
Mm.
weren't
Wow.
responsive. They weren't. We all Everybody understood that there was an engine issue,
Right.
um, but they're not responsive. They don't choose to want to work with us to generate a solution, and it
Hmm.
becomes difficult.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
so yeah.
Yep.
So knowing all of that, we might be able to answer your next question, which is like, what's your biggest pet peeve in in the industry? Maybe your day to day, right?
Well, I don't know that I have a huge pet peeve in this industry. Um, I I will say that something, in my opinion, like a generator, that should not be a commodity. In the last 3 to 4 years since the great COVID, Um, Generators have very much become a commodity,
Mm-hmm.
and they are being sold um, for very, very low margins. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that's in leaving the people that are having to generate the right solution or identifying the right solution,
Mm-hmm.
um, kind of in a tight spot. And what I mean by that is, we can go out to the customer, identify the right solution for them, um, and present them a quote, present them an offer. Yeah, you try to, not expose your price point, but put the whole package together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then customer, with internet at their fingertips,
Yeah.
very quickly goes online, identifies what the price of the generator is, and that they're being sold at extremely low margins. All nodes, you know, we're not talking about just home units or
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or just 100 kW generators. We're talking about large ones as well.
Yeah.
They're identifying that price point, and then obviously they're backing into the price and saying, "Hey," and candidly, manufacturers sell lower price points to people that move the most generators. And
Mm-hmm.
so generators from companies that are selling them online are moving high volumes at low price points and
Mm-hmm.
very low risk.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I buy one from pick a company online, they ship it across the country, drop it off at your lot, it's yours.
Yep.
Um, a company like ours, if we sell you something, we put it in place, we have to stand behind it. We're
Sure. You
here in the
back it up.
community. We can't
Mm-hmm.
run. We can't
Mm-hmm.
hide. It's
Yep.
it's our
Yeah.
it's our opportunity to shine or our opportunity to run from it and reap the consequences,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
negative consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like you got to have that conversation pretty often.
We do. We actually get a lot of work from
Mm-hmm.
what I call online retailers.
Hmm.
And I like those guys. They're nice guys, but they're shipping generators across the country and dropping them off at a customer's lot, and then we find
Yeah.
out about it, and then then we get the opportunity to figure out a way to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And okay, it's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily the ideal fit.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not necessarily, but the guy sitting behind a desk somewhere made a sale, made a nice sale, uh, at a relatively low profit margin,
Yeah.
but he has limited risk, and he's probably not gonna, there's disclaimers in the bottom of the sales order
Mm-hmm.
to say
Mm-hmm.
something to the effect that, you know, we're selling you this product and you acknowledge that it's your responsibility and that you were the one who sourced it and made the decision to purchase.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. They could wash their hands of it.
They wash their hands of it. So
Right.
that's been a really disappointing development in our industry in the last 3, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Got anything else?
So one last question. So when you're not running your business, Jordan, thinking about generators probably all day long, every day, what do you do in your spare time?
Interesting that you would ask that question. I enjoy very much being involved in the community. Um, so I'm actually involved in as a planning commissioner for our county.
Hmm.
So that gives
Cool.
me some opportunity to interact with our community and specifically in developments
Mm-hmm.
and land use issues. So I've really enjoyed that aspect. I also have a realtor's license.
Okay.
If I choose to play a little bit in the real estate market,
Mm-hmm.
um, and yeah, and just to top it off, since the weekends need something to do as well, I'm actually serve as associate pastor at
Oh,
our church.
nice. I love
So
that. That's great.
between those four things,
Mm-hmm. You're busy.
I have a few extra minutes here and there. So
Yeah. Well, sure. And I appreciate you doing
Well,
this.
and that probably helps your business too when you're involved in your community.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I,
Mm.
I tell people I happen to be doing generators.
Mhm.
I'm in the people business. I
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
people. I like helping people to be successful.
Mhm.
Um, I I really enjoy, this doesn't really help the bottom line of the company as far as, um, but I like helping the community in leadership spaces, leadership training. I obviously invest in it for my company and in my people. But I also like to create those opportunities for our community.
Yeah. That's great.
So that's I just enjoy doing that,
That's
helping the
great.
community be a better place to live
Yeah.
and and work.
That's
So,
pretty solid. Go ahead.
Now you sound like you would be a great mentor for somebody. So did you have a mentor for yourself getting into this business that gave you some advice?
well, I would say maybe not an industry specific mentor, but I've actually had a couple of different ones
Hmm.
over the years that have helped me through various stages of my life. And yeah, we you can't move forward in life without having mentors. And I'm deeply appreciative to those people that have allowed me to lean on their shoulder,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and to chat with them, talk through various different situations.
Hmm.
Um, those guys are huge, and I
Yeah.
enjoy being a mentor to those that you know come to me and are willing to share with me.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I love helping people. I want win-win situations for everybody around me. Because, one of the mottos that I have at the bottom of my email is we rise by lifting each other up.
That is true.
And so I love
Hmm.
helping people.
Yeah, that's
Um,
great.
I like to be I like to tell my team that I want to be the dumbest guy in the room. And so long
Yeah,
as I'm successful at being the dumbest guy in the room, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So that's my goal.
that's great. Yeah,
That's
that's
great.
really great. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jordan, you've been pretty successful up till now, so no doubt for your future. And
Yeah,
thank you
you'll
for
have.
your time today. And uh, I hope we covered everything. I mean, I think we covered everything, and we're trying to make it so it's interesting for other generator dealers such as yourselves that have been in business maybe 1 to 5 years or even 10 to 20
Right.
years.
Sure.
Is there anything that you think you might want to add that maybe we didn't ask or asked out of order?
Well, I don't know yeah, the what we do in life, it's more important that we leave a legacy behind us, not so much so that we can feel good about ourselves, which is a part of it, but we need to make sure that we focus on the people that are around us.
Hmm.
We need to leave a legacy where everyone around us is better because they came into contact with us.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay. And it's not about us. It's about supporting our neighbors, our friends,
Hmm.
our
Yep.
community. Um, you know, give them an opportunity, pat them on the back, be an encourager, be a person who other people feel refreshed
Yep.
by being around. Um, there's enough people that are putting each other down in this world. Um, just be a shining light. Be
Hmm.
a smile on the face to somebody who's maybe not feeling so good.
Yep.
Um, but so I try to do that for my team, not always successful. Um, but yeah, put a smile on somebody's face.
That's great. I love that. It was really nice speaking with you today, and it was really nice meeting you.
Yeah, well, nice meeting you.
Mm. Thank you.
Seeing who makes John look good.
That's why she's here.
Thank you for listening to Powering Success, future proofing your generator company. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more information or to connect with John, visit him online at www.generatorseo.com. If you found value in today's content, please share with others and leave us a rating and a review. Until next time, this has been Powering Success.